Welcome, courageous Capricorns. I've got your horoscope for January 2024, and there is so much happening. There are lots of planets going into your sign this month. Let's get on with it. Firstly, I'll draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for you. So we'll go to the board right now and do that. There's your horoscope. Alrighty, so first card, first half of the month. I like to have a little vision first. Pair of scissors, cutting something out. So this is about you cutting something out in your life. You're going to cut maybe a bad habit, maybe a person off, maybe a situation, or it could be any number of things, but you're getting to work on it. I think you already have an idea of what it is that you're cutting back on. Might be something to do with how much time you spend with certain people or how much money you spend. Could be any number of things. The card that comes out is the King of Cups, so it's more likely that it's to do with an emotional current, that you're putting your emotions into something, and maybe is that the wise thing to do. The good news is the King of Cups is very wise and masterful around emotions. So this energy will clarify for you what you should be putting your emotions into. Some things you can't change, and what's the point of getting all upset about it if you can't change something? And I know I do it too. Sometimes I get upset about things and I've got no hope of changing them other than to pray about the situation. But this is somebody who is highly intuitive, very much in touch with their emotions. Could be a woman, but usually a woman post-menopause who's got a lot of experience of the world. And she knows that her emotions are emotions, and that's not the sum total of her. She has a brain, a mind, and a body to consider, as well as her spiritual journey. You'll see here the gold around the throat suggests that there's very wise words coming from this masculine energy. He's also seated on a shell, and the water in the background, the ocean, is all about the subconscious. So this is somebody in touch with his subconscious, very balanced individual that really pays attention to emotions. The sun here in the background, casting insight and awareness, bringing the light into the situation so he can make a good decision. A highly intuitive person. And if you don't know anyone like that, then find it in yourself. It will be in your DNA, on your family tree somewhere. And sometimes you have to go back, do a meditation for ancestral healing, and you might have to go back hundreds of years to find somebody who's suitable. So the next card, second half of the month, what is this? It's a glass ball of sorts with a picture frame inside it, and it's some sort of picture inside it. I'll ask for another one. I've got no clue what that is. Another vision. So, dear courageous Capricorn, we've got a travelator here going up into the sky. This is good news for you because you're increasing in consciousness without putting too much effort into it. So you can jump on a travelator and it will just take you wherever you need to go. So you don't even have to walk. You just need to step on. That initial step gets you going, and then there's no effort after that. The card, this is your life journey I'm talking about, by the way. Yeah, you could be down there at Melbourne Airport. They've got a stack of travelators down there because they're where you fly in. The gates are so far removed, it seems to me, that you need travelators when they seem so far away from how to get out of the airport. So the card that comes out for you in the second half again is about cups. This is really interesting for you, Capricorn, because you're not normally associated with being over emotional, but here we have the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups, the masculine and the feminine. This is about balancing your emotions. You'll notice they're both seated on the shoreline, but with the ocean in the background. They're both seated on shells. He's got a lot of the dark indigo blue, which is more about the third eye and clairvoyance. She's got green and aqua, which is more about the heart and the throat and the energy coming up and speaking her truth. These birds here are saying, look at the big picture, be in touch with your emotions and look at the big picture at the same time. So it's great to be in touch with your emotions and, of course, keep your feet on the ground and be practical too. So that's I don't remember that ever happening before, both the king and queen of the same suite coming up. So it's like, for you, an earth sign, emotions might seem, for some Capricorns, not all of course, but emotions might seem a little bit inferior to their ability to work hard and think. And that's not true at all, because it doesn't matter if you're earthy, fiery, airy or watery, all the different elements are equally valid. So let's make this a bit bigger and see where this goes, because here we have your horoscope for January. First thing to note is all of this activity going on here in the eastern side of your chart. East is about new beginnings. It's like when the sun comes up in the morning and it's a new day. So that's what January is like for you, a new day. The new moon is also here, adding extra energy to those new beginnings, because there's a big party going on in your sign. I'll talk about that. So new moon in Capricorn, full moon is in Leo, and that is getting you to look at your joint resources, whatever it is that you share with anybody else. So it could be you share it with the government or a government instrumentality, another person, a company. It could be like tax, superannuation. It could even be to do with inheritances or wills or those sorts of legalities, because this is, even though it's in Leo, it is traditionally associated with Scorpio, so it still relates to very deep things. Then we have on the 1st of January, this is good news for everybody, Mercury is turning direct, so it's great to start the new year on the first day of the new year and the first day of the first month. It's great to start with Mercury turning direct, which is all about communications, travel and transactions. Those areas of life should go more smoothly now. We have Mars in Capricorn on the 4th, Mercury in Capricorn on the 13th, and Venus in Capricorn on the 23rd. And I've put Capricorn there. That should be Taurus. So sorry. It's Uranus and Taurus. But you're still having a big party here anyway. With all of these houses in your sign, there is a ton of energy around the way that you approach the world, you get your message out in the world. This house is all about your personality, generally speaking. It's also about your physical appearance, your identity, and even your body. So you might be absolutely full of energy in January to get out and do stuff and achieve things. And this is about your perception of the world and how you are perceived in the world as well. So Mars brings a lot of energy. The sun's already there. That brings stability, safety, warmth, courage, which you'll relate to because you are normally courageous. Venus will be there later in the month, there on the 23rd, and that will have a balancing effect against Mars, because Mars can sometimes be a little bit forceful or aggressive, but Venus likes to smooth everything over, to compromise, to be polite and courteous and considered in their speech. And in Librans and Taurus, for example, Taurians, they're very considered. They usually think before they speak. So this is bringing this ability to you, dear Capricorn, more so than usual, because you normally have that ability, but this will be strengthened. And it's going to be a really rock and roll and energetic month for you. Now, the next thing to note is that the Sun and Pluto on the same day, the 20th of January, will go into Aquarius here. And this is your house of personal finances, and it's going to be opposite your house of shared resources or joint assets or even intimacy with the full moon there on the 25th. So there's going to be some sort of opposition at some point here, and this could really sort of be a bit of a challenge to deal with. The good thing is, though, that the moon travels very fast. It's only going to be any challenges that you may have on the 25th of the month are only going to last hours. So that's good news. The sun brings insight and awareness and comfort and safety, stability. Pluto, that way out dwarf planet, or whatever you want to call it now, that has been demoted from planet, and now they're reconsidering, apparently, whoever makes up these decisions is reconsidering whether Pluto should be promoted to being a planet again. It's like, make up your mind. Anyway, Pluto will be here from 20th of January until the 1st of September. Then it pops back into your sign again for that last bit of transformation and restructuring. And then the 19th of November, it comes back into your finances, where it stays until March 2043. So there's going to be a lot going on with your personal finances. And this year, 2024, is going to be a bit more of a taster, an entree into what's coming in the following 20 years. Now, last year, 23, in the middle of the year, Pluto gave us a 3-month sort of taster. I must confess, I didn't really feel very much about it at that time. So it'll be interesting to see from January to September this year whether I can sense any sort of fundamental change. And the thing about Pluto, what it often does is it is a destroyer. It'll end a situation and then it will rebirth that situation in a new form. So it's like birth, death and rebirth. That all comes under the auspices of Pluto. So you might find something comes back from the past, something that you already thought had died off, and it comes back in a new form. And it's to do with your money, your possessions, or perhaps the things that you value. You might find that money doesn't hold the appeal that it used to hold for you, and now you appreciate things like kindness, honesty, integrity. They might have more appeal. For example, the things you value change under Pluto especially. Alrighty, and then the next thing to consider is Uranus in Taurus here moves forward on the 27th, bringing surprising energies and unpredictable energies to your creativity, romance if you're interested in romance, or to do with children and the world of the child. So that's your inner child. With Uranus, it doesn't mean it's bad. Some people think it's bad. It can be, but not necessarily. Sometimes it's just surprising. It can be a pleasant surprise, but it'll be moving forward again. All right, so that's it, courageous Capricorns. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you're doing well. Just want to wish you a very happy 2024 with a lot of insight, because there's heaps happening this year. And don't forget, check out your moon and rising sign as well. Thanks again. I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.